Paul Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr Bone. It's an honour to serve under your chairmanship. And I'd also like to thank the Honourable Member for Yeovil for calling this debate. I'd like to constrain my remarks to a specific element of defence policy recently published, which was the National Shipbuilding Strategy. And I would like to make reference to that in the context of previous policy with regards to shipbuilding strategy in the United Kingdom. In particular, the terms of business agreement that was signed between the Ministry of Defence and what was then known as BVT in 2009, subsequently known as BEE Systems Surface Ships Limited. And I'd like to know basically how that has evolved into the current National Shipbuilding Strategy, and I would appreciate it if the Minister can make specific reference to how that terms of business agreement has been formulated into the current National Shipbuilding Strategy. I was alarmed to read that document and learn within it that there was key omissions that were referred to in the TOBA, the Terms of Business Agreement, that have not been carried over into the current National Shipbuilding Strategy. Most notably, the definition of any key industrial capability with regards to the shipbuilding industry. So the key industrial capability for shipbuilding is defined as follows: to design, build and integrate a complex warship of up to 5,000 tonnes deep displacement at an interval of one ship build every 12 months and a design interval of every 6 years. And that is to sustain a sovereign capability to provide and maintain facilities and key post workers in the shipbuilding sector, contributing to the sustainment of a sovereign capability. I was alarmed to learn of the notion that the Type 31 frigate should be competitively tendered, which breaks essentially Clause 9 of the Terms of Business Agreement with the Ministry of Defence and BE Systems, because it jeopardises that long-term drumbeat of work. It also makes no reference to the achievement of an upper quartile performance in the national shipbuilding industry. And that upper quartile performance was defined as a benchmarking exercise that would determine the optimal design, build, combat systems integration and through-life support infrastructure in the UK that would be in the upper quartile of all industry or all firms engaged in that industry worldwide. So I would like to know why those terms and those definitions have not been sustained through into the current National Shipbuilding Strategy. I had the privilege of working in the shipbuilding industry following the footsteps of my grandfather and father, and was heavily involved in the development of that benchmarking exercise through my time at BE Systems. And that included the development of the design of a shipyard on the Clyde that would deliver exactly that, the key industrial capability at an upper quartile performance level. And I was rather alarmed to learn that that is no longer going to be invested in. And that therefore means that we'll no longer be able to achieve a build interval of one ship build every 12 months or a design interval of every 6 years. That capability has now been effectively surrendered by the Ministry of Defence. It would be clear within the current shipbuilding strategy. So I would like to know why that has happened and why the business case that demonstrated that it was perfectly financially viable to deliver that capability has not been upheld. I may ask what long-term financing options have been considered beyond current in-year spend to deliver that long-term build capability as well. And I'd be grateful for the Minister if he could elaborate on those comments. Thank you very much.